see. All right, God. All right, so let's get a after this article, we're gonna break down what that compassion and who it should go to. You know what I'm saying? What it really looks like and who it should go to. Read.
Geiger, who was white, barged into the apartment of her black neighbor September 6th last year. It was her own.
Which was a lie, really. Go ahead.
Believing John was an intruder.
Right.
Geiger, who had just finished a shift, drew her weapon and gunned down the 26-year-old in his own home.
She ain't draw her weapon and say, freeze. Ain't that training? Freeze. Hold it, let me see your hands. Blase, blase, blase. Who are you? What are you doing? No type of restraint, no type of training. Well, actually, she did show training. Police training is this: murder black people. That's training for police. Drop that. Give me John 3:16. And then I want you, after all of this, I want you to hold Matthew chapter 10 and actually Matthew chapter 5 and 24. Let me get there with you. It's about to be heavy what we bring out, you understand? Which is not what your Christian churches are bringing out at all. They would never bring this out. You wanna know why? Take a lot of their money from them. Take all of their members from them. You understand? Hold on 1 second. Let me see, it could be 15 or 24, excuse me. Yeah, it's 15 and 24, all right? All right, no sweat, let's get it.
John, Matthew.
Seems like we got another broadcaster interruption now.
Yeah, keep on.
Hold on, 1 second, let me back up.
Back up.
Let me back up. All right, we back up, let's get it.
It's like we want John or Matthew.
Give me John. Matthew is going to be the top of it all.
Come on. This is the book of John, chapter 3 and verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son.
This is why that judge said that she hugged that murderer, that Michael Myers, the daughter of Michael Myers, the John Lee Gacy, and who was the Milwaukee one? Was it the Lee Gacy?
I'm not sure.
It was but Milwaukee had them a serial killer too. I wonder if the people in Milwaukee would have ever hugged him. You understand? If anybody in Milwaukee remembers the name of that the serial killer that was murdering those people, put it in the chat for me if you could, please. But it was definitely a serial. It probably was the Gacy cat. I think it was the Gacy cat. You know what I'm saying? Read.
That he gave his only begotten son.
He gave his only begotten son, that black man named Jesus Christ. But when Christians hear this, you know, they hear that Cedric Borgia, white, blonde hair, and blue-eyed devil. They don't see a black man with an afro and red eyes. They don't see that. They see, when they see he gave his only begotten son, it's that little white baby doll. That's what they see. The little white baby Jesus and all that. They don't see that little nigger baby with the nappy hair who grew up out of the ghetto. Christ came from the slums, man. Nazareth was a ghetto. You understand? People was out there doing every imaginable thing you could think about even today. Think they weren't smoking weed back then and enticing Christ to do this and do that? Read.
That whosoever believeth in him.
And that whosoever must got to mean the people who murder your people. When you read what Christ was teaching, he was teaching how to get peace within his own nation so that we can be a superpower and go against other nations. You're looking at national reconstructive behavior and teachings that Jesus Christ was teaching. He was teaching how a crip and the blood can come together and forgive each other. And if they ever got an inkling of that compassion that this judge gave to this damn Michael Myers daughter, to this serial killer, to this murderer, to this devil, then guess what? Black on black violence will stop in California.
That's right.
If a black man look at that and say, even a brother who hugged the judge, he can't. If he was a crip, he would look at the blood and say, I'll never hug that nigga. I'll never hug that nigga. Killed my cousin. That nigga killed my brother. Well, Botham John's brother showed you exactly how to end black on black crime. Read.
Whosoever believeth in him.
And that whosoever really is talking about whether you was a drug dealer in the nation of Israel, whether you was a murderer or gangbanger and, you're killing people, you was a thief and, or you didn't even know that you was an Israelite and you had dreadlocks in your head, or you was a whore, or you committed adultery, or whatever. If you learn what Christ taught, then whosoever it is, read,
should not perish.
should not what?
Should not perish.
Meaning you don't have to die for that if you really do change. And that's the key to it all. You ain't finna just not perish because how do you believe on Christ? How do you believe? You think the Lord sent his son to die for people who won't change? No, that's not the point. You won't die because now you do what Christ said, which is to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. And one of those laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High is to separate and be segregated.
That's right.
Straight up. Not to marry these other races, and do anything like that. But you can do business with them. Read.
But have everlasting life.
Yeah, and that nation that he wants to have everlasting life, we'll talk in a second. Give me 1 John chapter 2 and 15. Because you know what? Christ, the Lord said, and first of all, let me give you a backdrop on this story. Jesus Christ wasn't speaking to everybody. He was speaking to one dude named Nicodemus, who was a black man, and he was talking about how to fix black matters. That's what this was. It had nothing to do with the whole entire world and none of like that. You understand? And we'll break it down for you, Milwaukee. You understand? We're going to break it down for you. And I hope you understand and recirculate this video so that you'll understand what biblical law is really based on. It's really based on national pride and national love over any other race, and loving your own culture and loving how you look and loving your brother enough to hug him if he killed your brother. To love another black man who might have killed your brother, that's the compassion that this Bible is talking about. And I'm going to break it down for you and show you right now that it's not talking about Botham John's brother hugging the white murderer that murdered his brother. Period. Read.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15.
Said in John 16 that God so loved the world, right? Read.
Love not the world.
Do what?
Love not the world.
Well, the scriptures say do what?
Love not the world.
Well, damn. I thought it said God so loved the world. So basically what it is either that there's a mistranslation, or there's a contradiction with the scriptures, or you simply don't understand the Bible at all. That's pretty much what it seems like to me. Read.
Neither the things that are in the world.
So what's this world that the Lord sent his son for? That people can have everlasting life. First of all, what does the word world mean? And I know because you have a lack of education, you think that the word world means the entire planet. Let me help you understand something. That's not what that means. The word world does not mean the entire planet at all. You understand? Somebody coming up to this door. Doesn't mean that. you have a misunderstanding of what the actual terminology of the Bible means, then we here to help you out today. You understand? Doesn't mean that. All right? The word world means age or society. Now, one hand you got where the Lord said he sent his son for what? A world. Then on the other hand, he said what? Love not the world. So meaning there's a distinction between worlds and there's more than one world. So let's find that. Give me Psalms 90 and 2. Understanding the scriptures is what's going to fix blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Because there's a real big miscommunication between what's really written in here. Hell, I don't even think people even care about what's written in here because Christianity done made them feel so good and so bad and then so good and then so bad. It's just an emotional roller coaster. And I think they're used to it. You understand? You got it? Psalms 90 and 2. Read.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 90 and verse 2. Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever thou hast formed the earth.
Now, stop. It's giving you a glimpse into creation, right? The creation story. And before the Lord ever formed the mountain, read.
Before the Lord ever formed the mountain. It's like, before the mountains were brought forth, or ever thou hast formed the earth.
Formed the what?
The earth.
Remember, the earth was void. The earth was void. When they said, let there be light, it wasn't talking about the sun. When they said, let there be light, it was talking about the earth's core. That's the light that it was. You understand? And the earth was without form. You understand? It was void. Read.
And the world.
And the what?
And the world.
Well, obviously, crust began to build on this ball of looked like the sun, but then earth comes, and then it crusts up, and then now you have the earth. It says what? Read that again.
Come. Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever thou hast formed the earth and the world.
The earth what?
And the world.
The earth and the what?
And the world.
Is that a world as a plural, or is it just earth and world?
World.
Then guess what then? You say it loud, huh?
World.
That's the point. Earth and world are two distinctively, totally different things. So once again, when you go back to John 3:16, your flawed understanding is when you hear God so loved the world, you think God so loved the earth, and that's not what it's talking about. There's a difference between the earth and the world. So the earth and the world, two different things. You just got it from the scripture. Now give me Hebrews 11 and 3. Let's find out how can you define what the world is. And understanding this, if that judge would understand this breakdown that I'm giving here tonight, she never would have hugged Amber Gaia, ever. Read.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 11 and verse 3. Through faith.
Through what?
Through faith.
Now, here Christians go again. Faith is this, faith is that, blah, blah, blah. Faith is the work. You believe in something so much that you work for it. That's the point. Read.
We understand that the worlds were framed by the...
Wait, with the what?
The worlds.
Spell that.
W-O-R-L-D-S.
You can read that right in your Bible in Hebrews 11 and 3. So that word is a plural word for worlds, right? So it's not just one world out here. There's many different worlds out here. What are some examples of different worlds? I'll give you the biggest one. In a time where men all lived on one side of the earth, they called that the world. But then they started getting into ships and doing more exploration. And Christopher Columbus and other like-minded explorers like him said that they wanted to find the what? The new world. So there's already a world that you live in, but there's another world that you're going to find. The word world is literally defined in Quaker English or the King's English as a society or an age. And they wanted to go and find new land and get a new society and build a new society with different rules that are free from the first world that they were in. That's all it is. Don't take rocket science. You don't have to go to seminary school for this crap. You understand? To understand the simplicity in the Bible. So once again, when you go back to John 3:16, what you're reading is not talking about loving the entire globe. The world is a different type of society. So we also read where it said, love not the world. So what society is the world that Christ is coming back to die for? What society is that? Isaiah 45:17 will tell you that. So let's get that. Something that Milwaukee never had. Hopefully it'll help Milwaukee understand how not to be so damn plagued and discomforted and without hope, when you can see that the thing that makes the world thrive right now is hope and a bunch of lies. And they built it off of the hopeless lies they said that was in the Bible. They built it off of, and you got the greatest superpower of a nation on the planet Earth right now. It's damn near like they took our records and turned them into something that, if that's that young man, don't let him in here. Tell him we closed right now. All right, no sweat. So that world, you understand, is simply this. Read.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and verse 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord.
Who?
Israel.
Israel is so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians who ain't getting no type of salvation in America. Even if these so-called white people were your God, when is they white Jesus gonna ever give us some type of salvation? Seems to me that white Jesus only hates us and never loves us. I guess food stamps is love, huh? Because they gave you, it's classic Stockholm syndrome. Because they give you food stamps and welfare, and you can work a job, and now you ain't got chains on you and all that. I guess that's enough to love them, huh? Unconditionally. When a black woman raises you up from a baby, nurtures you all the way up to through high school and all of this, and then you turn your back on her and get a white woman. What type of love is that? You understand? Is that what the Bible teaches you? No, you as a black man, you raise up a little girl into a beautiful woman, and then she goes lay down with a white man. And I can only understand, I can never understand how that feels, and I don't want to understand it. But the biggest example is Serena Williams' father. He was heartbroken when that happened. Read.
But Israel
But Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, go ahead,
shall be saved.
We're the ones who need saving. We need to be saved from Planned Parenthood, so-called Christianity, black-on-black crime, what else? Police brutality, that's the number one. Save us. Can white Jesus save us, please, from police brutality? I'm waiting for it. I mean, damn, if he was going to ever come, this would be a good time for him to come, huh? Yeah, you would be a skeleton waiting on white Jesus to come down. He'll never come. There's no way he can ever hit the dogma that they gave you that white Jesus is associated with, which is AKA the mark of the beast. It's never designed, just like it's never designed to work for you, same way the so-called Constitution of America ain't designed for you. Read.
But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation.
With a what?
Everlasting salvation.
The everlasting salvation. Now you're starting to get a glimpse of the context of what Nicodemus and our King Christ was talking about. Read.
Ye shall not be ashamed.
And you ain't got to be ashamed to be a black man or a black woman, Hispanic or Native Indian woman. You don't have to be ashamed of that. You can actually hold your head high and wear that afro, sis. You don't have to have a blonde wig in your head. Bro, you don't have to walk around here with the tightest clothes on just because rock star skateboard kids do it. Don't have to. Be yourself. Don't be ashamed. You can wear these glorious warlike apparel. You can wear these some wristbands. Don't be ashamed of it. I know the world. Wear your headband. I know the world gonna tell you that's stupid and silly. You ain't gotta be ashamed. Because the world that's telling you it's stupid and silly, the Lord said in 1 John 2:15 that he hate that world. He said, don't love that world. That's the world that you shouldn't love. The one that says it's okay to be a homosexual. The one that says that so-called Christianity is acceptable, when you can eat shrimp, pork, crab, lobster, tuna, all type of nasty stuff. You understand? This is the world that the Lord hates, the one that doesn't give justice to black people the way they give justice to the so-called oppressors. Read.
Ye shall not be ashamed, nor confounded, world without end.
Wait, what? What did you just say?
World without end.
Now you understand what Christ was saying. He said that his Father sent him to give his life for this world without end. And then turned around in John and said, love not the world. What world? The Roman world, the Greek world. That were persecuting, hanging, raping, killing black Hispanics and Native Indian babies and all of that. The atrocious acts that they did, why would you love it? Why would you even want to be a Roman? Because they are all homosexuals. They all having sex with children and all that. Don't love that world. They sacrificing bulls and to nameless gods and gods who got names that don't even compare to the Most High. Why would you love that? You understand? They literally conquered you, did away with your language, they Hellenized you, did away with your language, did away with your culture, and you had to do this underground. You understand? It's ridiculous. That's the world. Now give me Acts chapter 2 and 21. It's also rudimentary to understand that if this world meant so much to the Lord, the world, the society, your social status, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, if this world meant so much to you, to the Lord, that he would send his only son, at this point, don't you think that you're betraying the man that he sent? You're betraying the reed.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 2, and verse 21. And it shall come to pass that whosoever.
Who what?
That whosoever.
This is what that whosoever was about. And this is talking about whosoever in the nation of Israel. Read.
Shall call on the name of the Lord.
Whosoever shall say, I'm tired of being a damn drug dealer. I want to be more like Christ said we should be. I want the Lord to help me be a better man. I want to turn away from the things that I used to do and do what the Lord says to do. Read.
Shall be saved.
He shall what?
Shall be saved.
Go ahead.
Ye men of Israel.
Who?
Ye men of Israel.
All type of men.
Ye men of Israel.
The race that I.S.U.P.K came from.
Ye men of Israel.
How about the race of the white cop just killed the sister Atiana Jefferson?
Ye men of Israel.
How about the Chinaman?
Ye men of Israel.
Martin Luther King told you, doesn't matter if you're yellow, green, brown, the Lord loves you. That's not true. Read it again from the top.
Come. This is the book of Acts, chapter 2, and verse 21. It shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Ye men of Israel.
You Israelites, you Crips, you Bloods, you GDs, you Stones, you Vice Lords, your MS-13, Sorrento, Northaniel, Latin Kings, Cobras, all y'all. You who?
Ye men of Israel.
You Black Panthers, you Christian pastors, you Christian church goers, your Moorish science temples, your Nation of Islams. Who?
Ye men of Israel.
You men that's in prison who murdered another man because your wife was a whore and you loved her so much you just murdered your own brother, thinking that once you murdered him that your wife was going to stop being this slut. You get locked up, you in jail for 35 to life, and she got her a whole nother family with a whole nother man cheating on that man as well. So you did your double time. Read.
Hear these words.
You hear these words. That only blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are qualified to get the love that Christ, that God gave by giving his son, a black man, Jesus Christ, to come and die for you.
Right.
That's the point. Give me Romans 12 and 2, please. That's the point of it all. That's the entire point of the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's his whole ministry. Tell you people who don't know you're Israelites, who live like damn heathens, even people who know you're Israelites, who live like damn heathens, that if you come into the Israelite school, you can get good. Ooh, I know that triggered a lot of people. But it's true. Read.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 12, and verse 2. And be not confounded. It's like, and be not conformed.
Be not what?
And be not conformed.
Go ahead.
To this world.
To what?
To this world.
To what world? The same world that you're living in today. Stop conforming to this world to the point where Stockholm Syndrome is relevant in your mind and prominent in your mind above the love of your own people, the justice that you want from your own people. Be not conformed to the world that it give the same sex of marriage. You understand? Well, there's nothing holy about that. Don't be conformed to the world that that tells you that it's illegal to do and sell drugs, yet their government pumps more drugs in by the boatload every day and then create a police force to come and murder you when you do the only option that you have in your mind. Don't be conformed to that world. Don't be conformed to a world that tells you voting is going to change the state of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in America when we've been voting since black people could ever even goddamn vote in America. How long will you have to be this goddamn stupid? Read.
And be not conformed to this world.
Read.
But be ye transformed.
Be what?
Be ye transformed.
Now you got to be different. I know you was born a slave. All you knew was white Jesus. All you knew was Christianity. All you knew was what you see on TV today. Shit, Milwaukee, you could be something different. You can transform into something that makes white people uncomfortable. Excuse my French. You can become something that makes these people uncomfortable. And that's being a stand-up black man or black woman. Straight like that. Read.
By the renewing of your mind.
By the what?
By the renewing of your mind.
You know what that means, right? You know what that means. You got to be somebody new. You got to stop thinking the way that you've always been thinking. You got to let go of everything you thought you knew and do what? By what?
By the renewing of your mind.
The only way that's going to happen is understanding what the Israelite school of UPK's criteria is.
That's right.
You understand? Learning that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are Israelites. Learning that color does matter and is in the Bible. Learning how women should behave. Learning how you should behave. Learning that Jesus Christ only came for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Learning that the laws of the Most High are not done away with. Learning that these anomalies that you see in the sky are actually the chariots of the Most High and not UFOs. You understand? Learning how to not be a goddamn hypocrite is the number one thing that Christ came up against these Sadducees and Pharisees about. And the same thing, I know you look at the Bible with all this mysticism and spookism on it, but the same thing that Christ and the men that were doing then is the same thing that the Israelite school of UPK is doing today. We go against all your false leaders. I don't give a damn what their ideology is. If it ain't in the Israelite school of UPK, you are not in the goddamn truth. Read that again from the top.
Come on. This is the book of Romans, chapter 12, and verse 2. And be not conformed to this world.
What does it mean to conform? The same thing it means to assimilate. Read. Don't be conformed to this world. Go ahead. And first, before you go ahead, this world that we're talking about is not the world that Christ came to save. This world we're talking about is all wicked. Read.
But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
By the renewing of your mind. Read.
That ye may prove.
That ye might what?
That ye may prove.
So you're going to have to do something to get saved, right? You're going to have to first change so that you can prove yourself what?
That ye may prove what is that good.
What is what?
What is that good?
And you want to know what that good thing is? You got to prove yourself to the Lord before he sent his son. You understand? You have to do it. Period. Now give me Matthew chapter 15 and 24. Let's put the number one marker on this real quick. People that you see hugging these devils, they have the mark of the beast. People you see, caring for the race that don't care about them have the mark of the beast. and they love everything about America. Well, hell, I hate it. I won't be conformed. You understand? Neither me or my family or my household, my wife, my children, they won't be conformed. Period. I'll fight, I'll die before I ever let it happen. You understand? Read.
Come on. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 15, and verse 24.
Those red words.
Come on.
So this is Christ talking. You can read up a little bit more. Read, go up a couple verses.
Come on. Verse 21. Then Yahushua went thence and departed into the coast of Tyre and Zidon.
All right. Read.
And behold, a woman of Canaan.
A woman of what?
A woman of Canaan.
If you read it in another account, it'll tell you that it was a white woman. You understand? Go ahead.
Came out of the same coast. And cried unto him. Saying, have mercy on me.
Have mercy on me. Now this Amber Geiger woman came and cried to Christ and asked him, have mercy on me. Read.
O Lord, thou son of David.
Thou son of who?
Thou son of David.
Everybody knows King David in the Bible was a black man. Everybody knows that by now. Read.
My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil.
And she came, and she humbly came like she should have came to a black man and asked for some type of, something. Her daughter's grievously vexed with the devil. She's tripping. She got spirits on her. She out of her mind. Read.
Verse 23. But he answered her not a word.
But he did what?
Answered her not a word.
You know what? If that judge would have never answered that damn monster not a word, except for gave her a life sentence. Read.
And his disciples.
And his who?
His disciples.
Ooh-wee. His disciples weren't all the way ready yet. Read.
Came and besought him.
What they say?
Came and besought him, saying.
What they say?
Send her away.
Do what?
Send her away.
Whoa, what?
Send her away.
Listen. It's anti the Bible to entertain these people, man. You supposed to send them away. You understand? You're supposed to send these people away. Christ didn't even answer her. She came bugging him. You understand? Christ ignored this bitch. And guess what? His disciples said, send her away. Read.
For she crieth after us.
She wants something from us. Read.
Verse 24. But he answered and said.
He what?
He answered and said.
What did Christ say?
I am not sent.
He told her what?
I am not sent.
I am not sent, meaning I'm only sent. Read.
But unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
I'm only sent to those blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. I know you want a little something, but I don't have it for you. Now, this is what Christ said. Now, read the rest. Read the rest. This is heavy. Read.
Verse 25. Then came she and worshiped him.
She did what?
Came she and worshiped him.
Read.
Saying, Lord, help me.
Saying what?
Lord.
Lord. You know what Lord means? You're above me and I'm beneath you. These people today, these so-called white people today, always will never believe that you're above them and they beneath you. Amber Geiger believes that she's above the life of a black man. How do I know? Because of her actions. If she would have had enough restraint with that black man that she has with white people every day she encounters them, then guess what? That black man would still be alive. Read.
Help me.
Help what?
Help me.
Now she crying out for help. Help me. Read.
But he answered.
But he answered again. Read.
And said.
Now, this is what he told this dog. Read.
It is not meat.
It is not meat, meaning Quaker English for it is not good. It is not substance. It is not something that's beneficial for my stomach. It's not meat. It's not good. Go ahead.
To take the children's bread.
What children? The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. He just told you I'm only sent to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Read.
And cast it, and to cast it to dogs.
And to what?
and to cast it to dogs.
He ain't finna give her no bread that goes to the nation of Israel and give it to a dog. Do you feed, if you're at home, imagine you're at home and you're at the dinner table and you have and when it says bread, it means a meal or something that gives you nourishment, right? And that's what the truth does. If you have that, right, and you give it to the dog is hungry. The dog's hungry and is damn near about to die, and your people, they hungry and they damn near about to die, right? Do you take what you give to them and give it to something that ain't even a human? Is that what you do? I don't think that's what you do. I don't think you do that. Why would you do that? Read.
Verse 27. And she said, truth.
What?
Truth.
Damn. She just what? She just she acknowledged that she's a dog. People always be like, well, y'all call women bitches. Y'all call women bitches. Well, you act like white women. If you act like white women, what did Christ call her? A dog. What is a female dog? A bitch. So if you act like white women, then what are you really saying you really are? That's why we gave the scripture, John 8:44. Now men do the same thing. Black men do the same thing. And what you hear is call them faggots. Straight like that. And guess what? This is because you act like a dog. Well, this woman right here understood that she was a dog. And she said, what to Christ?
Truth.
She said, that's true. I'm a dog. Read.
Lord.
She said, first of all, it's true, my Lord. Read.
Yet the dogs eat of the crumbs.
Did she ever deny that she was a bitch? No, she didn't. She ever denied that her nation is subhuman? No, she never did that. She said what?
Yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table.
She took her place. And that's something that's very hard for these so-called white people to do. But you see them taking their place all the time. Every time you see them kissing the boot of somebody in Israelite school, I.S.U.P.K, they're doing this spiritually. That's exactly what they're doing. And they just want a crumb. Like, I mean a small crumb from the table. Something, just something. That's what all they want. This is the spirit that judge should have had. It's the spirit that Botham John's brother should have had. This is the spirit that all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians should have. So the Black Panthers should have had this spirit as well. The Black Panthers, instead of them integrating and working with white people, they worked with white people and they were destroyed. The Nation of Islam does the same thing. And because we live in a world now that's now way more acceptable, back in the days, Louis Farrakhan was saying, and Malcolm X was saying that they would never, ever hold hands with white people. And then now Louis Farrakhan is on TV kissing and hugging a white man. You understand? The world that we live in today has been designed for this to happen. And it ain't been designed like it was back in the day. Back in the day, black people was really fed up. They knew what it was. We need to go back to segregation. That's what we need. You understand? What's going on? We need to go back to segregation. You understand? We need to go back to what? We need to go back to segregation, back when black and Hispanic neighborhoods were completely and utterly separate from the society of our oppressors. And we should now police our own neighborhoods. We should now don't worry about it. Kawana deal with it, all right? We should now police our own neighborhoods. We should now teach our own schools, teach our own children. You know what I'm saying? The people who teach your children should look like your children. The people who police your neighborhood should look like the people in your neighborhood. The people who give they give the parents spiritual guidance should be looking just like them. But they should be just like them, meaning they should be also just like the people of this Bible. And the people of this Bible were black. And if you can understand that the people in this Bible knew enough to separate themselves from the society that was coming up against theirs and fight and live and die in integrity and discipline and honor, preserving the law, statutes, and commandments, then the people who lead your people, the leaders that lead your people should have integrity in the law, statutes, and commandments and the history that we read in the scriptures. All right, give me Judith chapter 5 and verse 20. Only reason why people are able to do what they do to us today is literally because we don't keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord, which are written down and recorded in the first 5 books of the Bible. That's why. You understand? That's why. And if they would just so come back to that, and we wouldn't have no room to be overtaken by another nation. Here's the proof. Read.
This is the book of Judith, chapter 5 and verse 20. Now therefore, my Lord and governor, if there be any error in this people.
Read 2 verses above it, please.
Come on, come. This is the book of Judith, chapter 5 and verse 18. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore.
Now, meaning, no, read the verse above that. It'll give you exactly what you need, the context. What's happening is this. There's a military conquest happening, and these people are attempting to take over the known world as you know it. And then they run into us. They encountered us. They ran into the Israelites. And he's seeking counsel on how to deal with the Israelites. And there's a man who's telling them about us. Read.
This is the book of Judith, chapter 5, verse 17.
Because he wanted Israel. He wanted the land of Israel the same way everybody else wanted it. Read.
And whilst they sinned not before their God.
And while they sinned not before the Most High, read.
They prospered.
They what?
They prospered.
Man, so you mean to tell me if we just don't sin against the Most High, we can prosper? That's all we have to not do? Read.
Because the power that hateth iniquity.
Because the Lord that hates iniquity, hates sin, hates wrongful doing, hates an imbalance, hates injustice. Read.
Was with them.
He was with us. The Lord was with us. Read.
But when they departed from the way which he...
What? When they did what?
Departed.
You know we departed from the law, statutes, and commandments, right, in America. And it wasn't just because of America, but we did that even when we was in Africa. We parted from the law, statutes, and commandments when we was wandering around in Africa. We was doing it. Except for the most part of our culture we kept, like our language, our ensigns, just, certain regular things. But we were speaking ancient Hebrew and having sex with whores. You understand? We were speaking ancient Hebrew, knowing we was Israelites, and eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, all throughout Africa, having sex with Africans and, picking up their cultures and letting them come. Like, we was doing a lot. You understand? And guess what? We get to America, and now we crying to the Lord. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home, and all this and all that. You're getting enough of it now, huh? Now you want to march in the streets, Black Lives Matter, and you want to vote and all. Listen, you're really saying that you're tired of being oppressed in America. But read.
It's like verse 18. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles.
Listen, Moses appointed us and told us that we are to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and that if we do them all, this is where you can go back to Deuteronomy 28. Verse 1 says that if we do all the law, statutes, and commandments, not the ones we choose, all of them, that we will prosper, and that the Lord will bless us in ways that we ain't never even known in America today. Having $1 million and being rich in America has nothing compared to what we used to have back when we as a nation prospered. We ran the whole entire earth. You understand? Like it was geared to black supremacy. And then Moses said, if we don't keep them, then all of these curses will befall us. And guess what? We are literally engulfed in a blanket called curses of the Lord. You understand? It's a nasty, dirty, dingy blanket. And for some reason, we just won't take it off and put on that real golden, luxurious blanket called the law, statutes, and commandments. We won't wear that garment, but we will wear this nasty, filthy robe called America, called equality, called women's rights, called equality, called diversity, called individualism, called selfishness, called hate, called what makes me feel good. You understand? We'll put that on because it makes us feel good. But what we should wear is the law, statutes, and commandments. Read on in that scripture, please.
They were destroyed in many battles, very sore.
Man, and when we did not keep the law, statutes, and commandments, the Black Panthers failed, Marcus Garvey failed, Noble True Ali failed, the Nation of Islam, they failed. The Christian church has been failing for eons. And now, read.
And were led captives.
And were what?
Led captives.
I don't want to be a slave no more. I'm tired of slavery. Read.
Into a land.
Into a land, read.
That was not theirs.
Man, so come on, good night. Where are we at now? Did we originate in America? No, we didn't even originate in Africa. We are held captive. We are not free to go. I don't care what nobody tells you. These people can tell you all day, every day, y'all free, we free to do it. No, you're not free to leave America. If you think you're free to leave America, do everything that I just said under my voice. Come back to the law, statutes, and commandments under the banner of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Everybody in Milwaukee, do it. Everybody in New York, do it. Wherever there's a Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, come into the Israelite School of I.S.U.P.K, be led by Commanding General Yahanna, and then you will see the true character of so-called white America. You'll understand it then. It won't be some type of mirage that you can't see through. It'll be plain and clear, black and white, that they will never let you go. Because a slave owner never lets their slave go. Because if they do, now they have to pick the cotton. Now they have to flip the burgers. Now they have to make now they have to do the what's the grill? The hibachi grill. Now they got to do the Olive Garden jobs. And now they got to work the construction sites. And now they got to build everything. They got to take the trash out. They got to do this, that, and the third. If they let you go, they won't have a battery to run America. And then they will have to do their own NFL games. Oh my God, imagine that. An NFL game with only so-called white people in it. That's a game I do not ever want to wish on my worst enemies. Imagine seeing an NBA all white. Imagine golf going back to being all white. Who cared about it? How about tennis? Swimming and all this, the gymnastics. Who want to see a white girl tumble? You understand? Nobody. You understand? Nobody wants to see an all-white baseball league. If they did, they would have never did away with the Negro League and integrated Jackie Robinson into it. If they would have never got rid of the ABA and made the NBA. You understand? If this is what they would, it won't make money. And who wants to see an all-white army? Of course, they would love to have you die first in their battles. Well, I want to see an all-black military, Hispanic and Native Indian military, and I dream for it, and I believe in it, and I'll never stop believing in it. And in the Israelite School of I.S.U.P.K, we will fight for what we believe in. We'll work our fingers to the bone for what we believe in, and nobody can ever make us not love Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians more than we love ourselves, period. And those are the type of men, these are the type of men who should lead you, who will go into the scriptures and read this for you. Something that your Christian pastor has never shown you. Ever. Read.
Come with Khan. And led captives into a land that was not theirs.
Go ahead.
And the temple of their power was cast to the ground.
Oh yeah, they got rid of your culture, what made you strong. You know your culture is what made you strong. Being a black, Hispanic, and Native Indian is exactly what made you strong. Loving the Lord. This menorah right here, this is your culture. That's what made you strong. This shapar right here, this is your culture. This is what made you strong. You understand? Being the Lion of Judah is what made you strong. You understand? But here's what really made you strong. Let me help you out. Here's what made you strong. This right here contains the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High in it. This is what made you strong. And if you would just take these scrolls and eat them, digest them, food for thought. If you would just do that, don't you know you don't have to ever vote for another president again in your life? You'll never have to vote for another president, ever. You won't need one. You'll be strong with these laws, statutes, and commandments. If you was to just eat these scrolls and digest this and use it as food for thought when you make up your decisions, as something that gauges right from wrong, what you should do and what you shouldn't do, if you just use these scrolls for that, you'll never have to vote again. You'll never have to deal with police brutality anymore. You'll never have to do it. Meaning, white people would not be able to come and murder you in your neighborhood if black men ran your neighborhood. I promise you that. If you give the Israelite school of I.S.U.P.K in Milwaukee the power and the soldiers and the manhood, the manpower and the brotherhood, we'll come to Milwaukee and we'll protect you from these police that you're afraid of. I promise you. And we'll put our life on the line and do it. And even though my wives don't want to hear that, I'll do it. Even my daughter don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it, but I'll do it. I'll come out to Milwaukee and I'll police the neighborhoods and save you from these people if you just was to turn to the law, statutes, and commandments. That's all you got to do. Read.
Khan, verse 19. It's like verse 18. And their cities were taken by the enemies.
By who?
By the enemies.
By the friends.
By the enemies.
Amber Geiger is what?
The enemies.
The dude that killed Atiana Jefferson in cold blood in her home was what?
The enemies.
Martin Luther King, the people who commissioned him were what?
The enemies.
Yeah, the United States government is who?
The enemies.
Every so-called oppressor or white person on the planet is who?
The enemies.
You better get that through your damn mind. Read. But
now are they returned to their power.
We did it before, man. There was a time when we turned against the law, statutes, and commandments and were taken over the same way we taken over today in America. But then we did what?
Return to their power.
But then we returned to these scrolls. These laws, statutes, and commandments is our power. We turn back to our own culture. We return back to our power. Read.
And are come up from the places where they were scattered.
And have done what?
Come up from the places where they were scattered.
You understand that this ain't the first time we've ever been scattered amongst other nations and other places, right? We've been calling ourselves Puerto Rican, and we've been calling ourselves other proverbs and bywords like black and savage, and they've been calling us Greek, and they've been calling us Italian, and they've been calling us French and English and African and all that. But really, you're the nation of Israel. You just were scattered there because you lost your land. And they scattered you amongst these other people. And over time, you became to speak like these people and walk like them, talk like them. But then, because of the priesthood of the Most High, like you see today in the Israelite school I.S.U.P.K, we was called fools back then. And people mocked us back then. But we believed that our nation could come back from being how we were in a desolated state. And afterwards, in due time, they did what?
And have
From the top.
come on. Verse 19. But now are they returned to their power.
But we return back to the law, statutes, and commandments. Read.
And are come up from the places where they scattered them.
Meaning we don't want to be called American no more. We don't want to be called anything else but the nation of Israel. Read.
And have possessed Jerusalem.
And have did what?
Possessed Jerusalem.
We took back our land, which is exactly what we're going to do again. We're going to take back Jerusalem. I promise you. And I hope I'm one of the men who got boots on the ground and able to go and take back Jerusalem. Read.
Where their sanctuary is.
Where?
Where their sanctuary is.
You're not from Africa. You've never been from Africa. You're not from Wakanda. You're not from where the Black Panthers are and all that. You're not from there. You're not from Egypt. My goodness. You're not from Kemet. It's not where your sanctuary was. It's not where your God is. You are from Jerusalem. Read.
And are seated in the hill country.
And now we were in a hill country. If you didn't know, the land of Israel had a lot of hills in it. And it was called the hill country, meaning a lot of mountains. Read.
For it was desolate.
It was desolate. Go ahead.
Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be...
Now listen, he's trying to tell them, he gave them a history on the Israelites, how when we kept the law, statute, commandment, kept our integrity, we thrived, we flourished. Then, when we left it, we went into captivity, thus the Egyptians, right? Then we came up out of that, and now he's telling them, if he's trying to warn them now. This is a warning to all nations who want to rule over the children of Israel. It's a certain thing you have to do to really control the children of Israel. And this is it. Read.
If there be any error.
If there be what?
Any error.
Any error. Remember, Moses said we got to keep all the law, statutes, and commandments. Not some, but all. To not do one is an error. And these other nations know what your law, statutes, and commandments are. And if they see you building an altar in your house like the Christmas tree, they know that you can be taken. If they see you smoke weed, you're taken. If they see you celebrating Easter or Thanksgiving or anything like that, they know they can take you. Read.
And they sin against their power.
1 second. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let us consider.
We did what?
Let us consider.
No, what did we do? We did. Read it from the top.
This is the book of Judith, chapter 5, and verse 20. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their power.
If we sin against the Lord, read.
Let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
This is how we can take them. We can consider that the Lord ain't with them no more. And this, we can go and ruin them. Read.
And let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
That's how you can overcome the Israelites. But, read.
But if there be no iniquity in their nation.
If there be no iniquity or sin in their nation, read.
Let my Lord now pass by.
And you better keep it moving. Keep it moving, read.
Lest their Lord defend them.
Oh yeah, the Lord is going to defend us. Read.
And their power be for them.
Oh yeah. That's how it is. You know, you ever heard somebody say, I'm with you when you right? That's how the Lord is. I'm with you when you right. But if you ain't, I ain't with you. I don't want that stain on my name. If we could be righteous with the Lord will fight for us. Meaning he'll give us the spirit, angelic beings that came down and did things that the nations have saw, that you think is a fairy tale, that the nations have explicit writings about, will happen again. Supernatural things can happen again. And you don't drink of a damn spring water talking about his holy water. This ain't gonna happen like that. You're gonna have to become a new man and come into the Israelite school of I.S.U.P.K. With that being said, is that more than that? Read.
And we become a reproach before all the world.
Everybody is going to think twice before they approach us. Read. That's it?
That's it.
With that being said, I'm Officer DeBar, over at Milwaukee, the I.S.U.P.K Milwaukee. If you got any questions, call 312-989-4628. At any time, leave a message. You can text the number or anything like that. Somebody will return your call. They will return your message. With that being said, shalom.